Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrie's Thrifty Farmhouse. If you like decorating on a budget, you're in the right place. I'd like to start out by thanking all my existing subscribers, and if this is your first time stopping by, please introduce yourself below so we can connect. I just passed the 1 month mark since starting my channel, and I've had a blast creating videos and already learned so much about the process. Today I'm creating 3 Santa-themed pieces that'll surely get you in the holiday spirit, and they're all really simple, so they are great for beginners. If you like this video, I would love for you to like, comment, and hopefully subscribe so I can grow my channel. So with all the formalities out of the way, let's get started. In the Crafter's Corner at Dollar Tree, I saw these great wood cubes and snagged a bunch. This was the first time I've seen them at my Dollar Tree, so if you don't have them at your location, you could easily use the larger sized foam dice for this project. I started out by removing the sticker labels, but you'll probably notice I needed help from a knife because I'm a nail biter. Once the stickers were removed, I did a quick coat of red paint. I like to use chalk paint because it's a little thicker than regular acrylic craft paint, so sometimes, like today, it only requires 1 coat. I'm using the crimson color from the Waverly brand available at Walmart. It's a great affordable paint, but really any red paint will do. Next it's time to add the letters. I just love the Ray Dunn style lettering and recently bought some similar style stencils from an Etsy shop, and they are the perfect size for these blocks. My mother has some really cute Santa blocks on her mantle that say ho ho ho, so I thought I'd try to duplicate them. I'm just tracing the stencil with pencil, trying my best to place the stencils the same distance from the side so that the letters are centered on the block. The lettering took some trial and error. I first tried the chalk pens from Dollar Tree and they worked okay, but I didn't feel like the point was fine enough and it resulted in some letters being thicker than others. Then I remembered that I had a paint pen from Sharpie and that was what worked the best. When the paint dries, it does soak in a bit, so it did take a few coats to have nice sharp white letters. So I'm just going to jump right into the next project and reveal them together. So I saw these Santa socks at Dollar Tree, and when I put one over one of the small fishbowl type vases, the belt part looked so cute. So that's where the inspiration for this project came from. You'll want the toe part of the sock at the top where the opening of the vase is. Then gather the sock at the bottom and trim some of it off, ensuring that some extra fabric remains. Then use hot glue to adhere the sock to the bottom of the vase. I worked in sections, applying the glue and pulling the fabric up and over, making sure that only red fabric showed on the side of the vase. Once I went all the way around, I trimmed off the excess fabric so that the vase would sit flat on a surface. At the top, I cut a small hole in the toe of the sock and cut a few sections inward. Then I worked in sections and glued those down around the top in the same fashion as I did at the bottom. So I learned the hard way that it's a bad idea to cut the sock before stretching it over the vase. So if you're going to do this project, place and glue first and cut later. So here you see me saving the piece I messed up by cutting in advance. I fixed the issue by putting it over a smaller candle holder. These black candle holders with the gold trim are really beautiful, so I almost hated covering it, but the piece fit perfectly, and honestly, I may even like the shape of this one better for Santa's belt than the other vase. Either way, they're great companion pieces, so I'm just following the same steps from the previous piece, working in sections, gluing the sock around the top and bottom of the holder. Once they're finished, you can add any florals you have on hand. I just used evergreen sprigs, pine cones, and berries, and the smaller vase was the perfect size for succulents. Don't these look so cute in a vignette with the blocks? I really like how these turned out, and they look really nice on my kitchen counter next to the moss tree with berries from one of my previous projects. The next project is just another spin on the blocks and sock covered vase, a way to carry them over into other parts of the year. I saw this other pair of holiday socks at Dollar Tree that had a gray and red stripe. It reminded me of the colors for Ohio State University, so I'm following the same steps to create a Buckeye themed vase. I don't know if I've ever said this before, but we live in Central Ohio, right next to Ohio State University, and you really can't live here without being a die-hard fan. My husband and I both grew up here, and he got his fine finance degree from Ohio State, so we're big fans, especially Buckeye football. I also put letters on the opposite side of the blocks spelling out OHIO. If you're not in Buckeye country though, some other ideas I have would be to spell out home with the blocks. You could even make it patriotic themed and use a star in the place of the O, and that would be perfect for the 4th of July. Or really, the options are pretty endless if red fits into your everyday decor. So here they are in a little Buckeye vignette on my counter. This will work great for other seasons so the blocks don't have to sit in a box for most of the year. That's my thrifty side coming out. I definitely like to try to use decor pieces in lots of different ways. For this last project, I decided to create an ornament version of the Ho 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 blocks, and the little wood letter blocks at Dollar Tree were the perfect size. First, my wonderful husband helped me out by drilling holes through the center of 3 blocks. Then I painted the blocks with white chalk paint. Since the letters were pretty bold, it did take 2 coats of paint to get good coverage. I think I've mentioned before that I have seriously terrible left-handed writing, so next I used my WordSwag app like I have in the past to create the words. I just used a nice chunky block lettering and traced it directly off my phone onto a piece of scrap paper. Then I used my favorite Arteza carbon paper to trace it onto the blocks. I wrapped strips of paper around the blocks so that I could transfer the writing a lot quicker, and this worked well. Then I used a red Sharpie to fill in the letters. The final step is to string the blocks together. I cut a long strand of jute twine, doubled it over, and tied it in a knot. This formed a small loop which will be the hanger for the ornament. Then I put tape around the end of the 2 strands to create a makeshift needle. I wanted there to be beads at the top and bottom and in between the blocks, so I first strung a small bead. This will be the top closest to the hanger. Then I added the first block, making sure that the writing was right side up. Next I added a large bead followed by the second block, then another large bead and the final block. I completed the strand with another small bead and then tied the jute twine, securing the beads and blocks together. And here it is. We haven't put our tree up yet, but I borrowed my son's Christmas tree he has in his room year-round. I just love how this turned out. Simple but super cute. My favorite kind of project. Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to stick around and subscribe. And be sure to hit the notification button so you will be notified when I upload new videos. I have lots more budget-friendly decor in the works for this holiday season, and great pieces that will help you transition into the winter months. So keep your eye out for those. See you next time. Bye!